So why are we doing it?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, like crossplay has definitely been a passion. Just I've really wanted to sort of bring the whole community together and kind of break down the barriers between platforms, let people play with their friends. It's really, we're reaching that sort of it's sort of hitting the tipping point in the industry where like this is a thing now where we really shouldn't be sort of restricting people from playing with their friends just because of platform choices.
Right. And we've kind of been talking a little bit about this across all of our social media as well, that to kind of take part in crossplay, we want you to make a Call of Duty account.
Yeah, right. So in a crossplay universe where your social identity is sort of platform agnostic, as it were, that now kind of elevates to the Call of Duty account. And so with your Call of Duty account, you'll get a display name. That display name will be how people can identify you across platform. They can add you as a friend that way, etc. You can form parties using that identifier.
Awesome. So when it comes to adding people, what does that kind of process look like in game?
Right. So we have search functionality in our social menu in the game, and that is expecting you to sort of be finding your crossplay friends through that. So if you have somebody's Call of Duty account name, you can search for it in there. You can add them as an Activision friend, and then from there you'll be able to form parties with them regardless of what platform they're logged in on.
And does that affect the way they chat, their mics, the way they
Right.
do anything?
So for voice chat in particular, we had to sort of build our own system so that we could do voice chat through our own servers. So we've done that, and voice chat now works seamlessly in parties or in match across platform. Doesn't matter.
So when we were kind of talking about this, how will I know if someone is playing on a different platform than me?
Right. So we have some identifiers in the UI for what platform people are on. So you can see if they're on platform with you. If they're on the same platform as you, you can add them as a friend on the platform.
Right.
If they're off platform from you, then you can add them as a friend as an Activision friend. And so that'll let you sort of still continue to add friends depending on what platform they're on. Doesn't really matter. You still get them in the UI and you can
Yeah.
continue to play with them.
So there'll be an icon,
Yep. There'll be an
essentially.
icon in the UI.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, I know everyone's kind of had some questions about this. We've seen some of this on Reddit. How are we going to be matchmaking with crossplay?
Right. So the big thing that we added with the matchmaking part of this is that now your control scheme that you're using is sent up to the matchmaker. So we know if you're using a keyboard and mouse, or we know if you're using a controller, and we know that across any platform because we've added keyboard and mouse on all platforms. So that's now a key piece of information that we take up to the matchmaker, and we use that to sort of to as a piece of information as we're building matches. In general, we will try to keep the same control schemes together. But in cases where there's not enough people, or we couldn't find a high quality connection match, we'll allow different control schemes to mix together. And the most common case of that will be when we have parties of mixed
Right.
control schemes playing together.
Okay, so and if I'm playing on PlayStation and I have a keyboard and mouse, what will it show on the screen? Will it let me know there's PlayStation and then a mouse icon?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So we actually have two icons in the UI. We have one indicating what platform you're on, and we have one indicating what control scheme you're using. And the reason why we're doing that is really just so that we're totally open with what platform everybody's using, what control scheme everybody's using in your party or in your lobby, so you can just see what's going on.
And I think too. Again, this is another question we've gotten. What if I don't want to participate in that? Is there an option to opt out?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, obviously, like crossplay is has been a big push for us, and we really think it's the best way to play, and it has a ton of benefits for matchmaking and forming the best matches possible, keeping the player pool connected, all that kind of stuff. But if it's just not your thing, obviously, yeah, you can just opt out of it.
I mean, obviously for beta, we're testing these kinds of things, so we want you to do crossplay.
Definitely.
We
Yep.
want to test it. We want to see how everything plays together. And so I think kind of anecdotally, people always assume that PC always has the upper hand when it comes to matches. And here at the studio, when we've been testing some of the crossplay, that's not always been the case.
Yeah. I mean, Joe knows as well as I do. We've done a lot of user testing. I mean, we've had the luxury of having crossplay in this game for a really long time now. We've built this game from the ground up with crossplay in mind, and that's led to a ton of user testing where not only have we spent a ton of time balancing and trying to make sure that the playing field is level between the control schemes, but also a ton of like surprising user tests where we're looking at high skilled user tests and seeing a mix of control schemes in the top three every time. I
Yeah,
don't know
we
if you.
had we had internal tournaments, right? When we had kind of like streamers and influencers in, content creators, and we actually had the gunfight 2v2 tournament
Yeah.
where I think a pair of PlayStation users won one,
Yep.
and then a pair of PC users won the other. And then we had a grudge match where they went at it, and the PlayStation users actually coordinated and won in King. So it's pretty cool. I think it fluctuates. I think you can be a really, really good console player, and you can be a really, really good PC player. And yeah.
And so I think that brings up a point. Crossplay is going to be in every mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we support crossplay across the entire game. I mean, as part of that matchmaking process and us understanding what platform people are on and what control scheme people are using, we can make decisions on the back end about where we think maybe crossplay isn't appropriate, and we can restrict it from those locations. But in general, you can use crossplay across the entire game.
I mean, I'm pretty proud of myself. We did a 2v2 tournament.
Yeah.
And I won, and I didn't even have headphones on. And I was playing against some PC players that were really good.
Yep.
Pretty proud of that little trophy I have. So we have more information about Crossplay currently up again on the Activision Games blog. We'll also be talking about it more on social media on Infinity Ward and Call of Duty Twitter channels, so make sure you check that out. And if you have questions, obviously, hit us with them. We'll be happy to answer as much as we can. So let's kind of look a little bit forward as we get through beta. We kind of have some really cool things coming up with Modern Warfare in general. And we have a calendar, I think, that just kind of shows kind of where we're going as we get onto the road to launch on October 25th. It's pretty exciting. I mean, we have more than beta. We have the campaign content coming up.
Yep.
We've got Spec Ops. There we go, going into October. It's a lot. It's a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
It's
a super exciting time.
Yeah, there's so much in this game that it's crazy. So keep your eyes peeled for that kind of stuff, talking about the campaign as well as Spec Ops. And now let's give you guys a little bit more of the details for jumping